Hello everyone, Loremaster Sotek here, and I just wanted to make a video because I've been getting a lot of requests to show off various things. We did a big live stream yesterday showing off a lot of the different aspects of the Chaos Dwarf content, but something I kept getting asked a lot about was the spells. People wanted to see all the new spells from the lore of Hashut, and they also wanted to see all the rework spells from the lore of Fire, because just like the lore of Death back during the, I think it was the Warriors of Chaos update, there has been a glow up, so to speak, for the lore of Fire. But first, we're going to start by showing off all of the lore of Hashut spells with Drazoeth. Now, luckily, this massive legion of goblins has been so kind as to volunteer themselves for me to blow apart. So I figured I would show you a couple things. First, something that's not related to magic, but I can go ahead and show off. So if we're looking at kind of Daddy Drazoeth here, he does have a flaming breath attack on Cinder Breath, as do all the Bale Taurus. And you can see here, it's pretty nice. They just come up and they vomit pretty much a big old series of fireballs. Does pretty okay damage. It's not the most accurate, but if you can hit a heavily armored unit with it, it does actually do some pretty reasonable armor piercing and a good explosion. It's really good if the enemy units are really bunched up. So in any event, let's go ahead and work our way down from the most expensive spell to the least expensive. So we're going to start with the Flames of Asgore. So this is the super spell for the lore of Hashut. I'm going to go ahead and dive down into combat here so I can get them all to sort of surround me and get all grouped up, because this spell is far more impressive if you are able to hit tons and tons and tons of people with it. So hopefully the AI will not make me work too hard for this. I think I may have made him the defender, and I needed to make him, whatever, this is a good enough group. So let's go ahead and begin with this. So this spell, I don't care how good your armor is, I don't care how tough you are. Oh wait, are they all coming? Y'all coming? Maybe, possibly, kind of. Good enough. All right. So you can see here, it costs 18 winds of magic. It's bombardment. Let's let this puppy rip. So this is basically a reverse bombardment spell. So instead of coming down out of the sky, it shoots up out of the ground. It deals damage when going up, and it deals damage when going down. And it will do a ton of damage. Pretty much does not matter how much armor you have, it is going to mess you up. It's also surprisingly good against all targets, because the actual missiles that come out of the ground are what deal all of the damage. So it is very, very good when it comes to just about anything. Like even things like croc scores or ogres will take a pretty significant amount of damage. Next spell, it's not the next most expensive, but it'll work for you know what, I guess we can wait. I can be patient. It is a virtue after all. We'll just spew some more fireballs as we speed up time here a smidge. So we're waiting for the Hammer of Hashut, and I'm going to go ahead and bring forth a sacrificial unit, because their purpose is to give the goblins something to all build up on. Let's get a nice big old surround. Beautiful. Okay, this will work. So the Hellhammer is another wind template spell. Does pretty good armor piercing damage. And you throw it down like so. It conjures a big old hammer, and it does a ton of damage. It is a very, very, very painful spell. It can be pretty easy to dodge. It does have a decent wind up, but if it hits, it's pretty much game over. The next most expensive spell, I believe, is the Curse of Hashut, which we should have coming up in just a moment. Let's go ahead and vomit some more fireballs here. So we wait for our winds of magic to build up to 11. $10, $11. All right, so this is the Curse of Hashut. Curse of Hashut is a single target spell, does pretty good damage, and is pretty good against monsters and characters. So I'm going to throw in this Night Goblin War Boss, and as you see, it will conjure a big old bullhead that sends out some fire, blows some steam, and then it like drips down a bunch of ash on top of them. And it does about 1,000 damage to him. but you can overcast it for more dramatic damage, but it's a good way to just kind of throw some magic directly at an enemy. It does more damage than Spirit Leech does, so it's a good way to hurt all of them. Now, the end of this battle is coming up quick. Ash Storm would be the next biggest spell. I think, yes, I should have enough magic to cast it. We're almost there. Almost there. There we go. So here's Ash Storm. Ash Storm is a big AoE that causes 24% weakness to fire, and it also slows speed by a considerable 30%. It's a very cool looking spell. So you summon it like this. And you can see everyone in here is weak to fire. Drazoth is going to be dealing a lot of bonus damage, but it's a very, very cool spell effect. Probably one of the prettiest spells in the lore. But yeah, the speed buff is pretty notable. If you use it on enemies that are charging you, they will have a very bad time. We almost have enough magic for Burning Wrath and Dark Subjugation. I don't know if we're going to survive long enough to get to use it, but it's a lot of goblins. So Burning Wrath, Chaos Dwarfs are actually pretty good about using their magic missile in close combat. So I'm going to pop it on this big old healthy gobbo unit, and you'll see he just kind of shoots out, if you can turn the right direction. So you shoot out a missile that arcs pretty well, and then once it hits the ground, it creates a miniature vortex that roams around doing a lot of damage. That effect you saw, by the way, where all like the characters were glistening and everything, that was actually my lore passive, which is, if I can get it to stay, dang it, stay. Oh, well, look at that. So that was Killing Fire. So Killing Fire is whenever you cast a spell from the lore of Hashut, everyone within 55 meters of the sorcerer takes damage over time for 5 seconds. So it's a nice way to just kind of drain your enemies. We've got one spell left. I think we'll live long enough to cast it. We've got some gobbos helping out. It'd be perfect to use on this war boss to finish out the fight and claim us victory. Get him, Bull! Get him, Cinder Breath! Yeah, he's right there. So Dark Subjugation lowers leadership by 9 and melee defense by 28. So I'm going to pop it on this war boss. You can see there's the spell effect going off. I think he just went flying. I'm not sure. Oh, no, there he is. So you can see it gives him that purple haze effect. It's almost like he's covered in ash. And because it lowered his leadership by 9, he broke and ran. So now I get to run him down. With a very angry bull. So that is the lore of Hashut. That's all 6 of the spells. It is a fairly expensive lore of magic due to having multiple kind of big spells, but it is quite effective. The Flames of Asgore, I would say in particular, is a very, very powerful spell, especially because it actually has a pretty considerable distance. It has a big area of effect, but most importantly, oh yeah, he's super dead now. Most importantly, it does not, it casts very quickly. You know, a lot of those big template spells are kind of notorious for taking a while to cast, but the Flames of Asgore, when it's on the ground, it's very difficult to dodge because it goes off almost immediately. Well, not immediately, but by the time your opponent notices it, there's not really a lot of time for them to get out of the way and avoid its effects. So I hope you enjoyed the lore of Hashut Showcase. I will go ahead and cut this video to the next portion, which is the lore of Fire Showcase. And good to see that Drazhoath is, which is the spelling, is the pronunciation I've decided to go with, because whatever, it's what I've been doing. Drazhoath did manage to claim victory this battle thanks to his spells. So we'll just kind of, I'll see you guys in the next video. Next part. Welcome back, everyone. So instead of Drazhoath the Ashen, I've got a regular Sorcerer Prophet up on a Bale Taurus. So this is the big scary bull that is not burning, from within with Hellfire. And this lad is wielding the Lore of Fire, which you can feel free to pull up your own copy of the game if you'd like to compare how the spells are looking a little different. So we'll go ahead and start off with a spell that I think will be quite effective with this massive horde swarming around, which is Flamestorm. So it's got a bit of a big build-up, and then boom. One of the big things you'll notice about Flamestorm is it actually moves considerably slower than it used to. Flamestorm used to be kind of notorious as a spell that would almost immediately wander off, so it wouldn't be able to do much. It is a much slower spell to get moving around, so if you cast it on a place where there's like a lot of fighting happening, you are probably going to hit a rather significant number of targets. Obviously the AI was able to get away from me pretty quick, but even then I still killed almost 200 goblins in that instant that it cast and exploded everyone. So let's get ready for our next spell, which is going to be the Piercing Bolts of Burning. I'll just fly my dude around while he keeps shooting his little flare gun. Go ahead and have the hobgoblins run forward to just make a wall to try and concentrate the enemy goblins. The Sorcerer Prophets and Demon Smiths are pretty cool. They have these like little pistols that when they fire them, they rather uniquely attribute the flammable effect to targets. So basically they can kind of butter up the opponent for your weapons, which is pretty cool. Go ahead and send in our hobgoblins, who are just universally better than regular goblins. Alright, this looks like a good enough spot. So we're going to cast this, and you can see immediately, you can see all of the different piercing bolts gathering. You can actually count them, and I believe it's the same number. They get into this big fireball, and then the fireball spews them all out. And they're that brilliant color coming down, and they give off those nice, sexy explosions, dealing lots and lots of good damage. Let's go ahead and dive on into one of these messes around here to help out a bit. I love how big the wings are on these things. And we are now waiting to unleash the legendary Burning Head. See, this is on my character. Why don't you go in there? Because I want to see what that looks like. And this looks like the perfect area for a Burning Head. We'll speed up time a smidge. And fire. So it's got some additional particle effects. I think it lights the ground on fire a bit better than it used to, and it's got kind of this trail on the ground that shows you where it actually is. But it's still a beautiful effect. Very similar to the old one. Big old cackling skull. And then it does a big explosion at the end. Very cool. Got rid of all those goblins for us. How nice. All right, next up is, I believe, Flaming Swords of Ruin. Oh, yeah. So let's see what the Demon Flask looks like. Ooh. So it's like a big earthquake that does blind. That's kind of cool. Two more Winds of Magic. Speed up time a smidge. So we can see here the Flaming Sword of Ruin. So you cast it and it summons a big old sexy fire sword that when it fades away, it leaves all of your units with this really cool fire particle effect going off around them to indicate, yes, these lads are indeed on fire. Lasts for a good little while, too. I don't think any, I don't have any health forge. We'll go ahead and do our Cascading Fire Cloak. So I'll throw it on my Demon Smith here. So for this spell, you see it just kind of immediately conjures that, it gives off like a small little aura, and then it conjures this big swirly fire effect that's very similar to the Flaming Sword of Ruins fire effect to showcase that, hey, this unit's got plus melee defense and damage and such. All right, I need to get this big old bull up in the air so I can shoot a fireball here in a second. I would say by far the biggest change, I think, is to Flamestorm, but all of the spells did receive like nice little glow ups. The Flaming Sword of Ruin is very nice. Like it's a pretty flashy, cool little thing. It's fun. Okay, so for the fireball, we'll shoot it down at this nerd. And you can see the fireball is now like brilliant hot. So it's like very bright white, almost blue, where it's being cast from, which really gives off the idea that it's like scorching hot, which I think is very, very cool. All right, let's go finish off these nerds. But yes, so that's it for the spell showcase. I'm just going to kind of run around here and kill a bunch of gobos to wrap up. But I hope you all enjoyed. If there's anything in particular you're wanting to see, I would recommend checking out the live stream we did. You can find it over on the Twitch channel. I will probably upload it up on my secondary channel for anyone that maybe is interested in checking it out there. So you can feel free to do that. But that's going to be the end of the spell showcase. That will be today's kind of Chaos Dwarf video, though I'm sure I will be doing some live stream stuff later today if you want to maybe see some more things. Thank you all for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.